You're breathing too loud. Close the door. Sit on the floor. Lights low. I need your heartbeat matching mine for the next 8 minutes. 'Cause I'm about to tell you about the perfect murder. No blood. No body. Just a soul left half open like a laptop that won't reboot. You will use this. You will hate that you know it. Tonight you're wearing the soft sweater they always loved. It still smells like their touch, soft enough to make memory feel alive. Pour them a glass of water first. The last kindness is giving them something to hold when you're gone. When they smile, tilt your head like you're hearing distant music. They'll ask what's wrong. That's your cue to become the saddest saint they've ever touched. Start with the compliment, but make it sound like a medical exam. You're perfect in a way that doesn't feel like coincidence. The curve of your shoulder fits my face like it was made for me. Your laugh hits something in me I didn't know existed. Every little motion of yours makes me feel like the world measured you before I even got here. They'll blush. You're not flirting. You're building the pedestal you later kick out from under them. Now the pivot. Lower your voice to hospital volume. And that's exactly why I can't stay. Say it like the sentence is ripping your ribcage on the way out. Pause. Let the silence balloon until they try to speak. Cut them off with a raised palm. Visual pattern interrupt. Their brain tags this moment as unfinished business. Zeigarnik is already licking her lips. Deliver the wound in one clean slice. There's something wrong in me. It's been there long before you showed up. You made me forget it for a while, but I can feel it waking up again. And if I stay, it'll lead everything good between us. Never name the defect. Abstract poison has no antidote. Then stand up immediately. Physical height triggers primal submission. Even if they are taller, the move makes them feel small. I can't forgive myself if I ever hurt you. You deserve someone whole, and I'll never be that. Now the martyr halo glows. I leave to protect you. Nothing activates savior complex faster than a lover who insists they're the villain. They will swear they can fix you. That's the loop you'll never let them close. Hand them the glass of water you poured earlier. When fingers brush, let your hand tremble just enough for them to feel the earthquake you're faking. Since memory will glue that tremor to every future sip of plain water. Years from now, in another kitchen, they'll drink and taste your goodbye without knowing why their throat tightens. Final command, whispered like a prayer. Please don't call me. Don't try to find me. Hearing your voice would be the last thing the monster needs to wake up. Whatever's left of me will drag you down with it. Use the word monster once, and only once. The brain will sketch the rest in shadows. Shadows are immortal. They will try to text you at 2 a.m. anyway. Don't answer. Unread messages are ghosts that keep nesting. Walk out backwards. Never break eye contact. This backward exit is the last picture you burn into what they see. Movies use it for corpses rising from the dead. Close the door soft. No slam. A soft exit feels like a dream you can't trust happened. They'll question the memory within minutes. Did you really leave? Or did they imagine it? Loop locked. Block everywhere. Not cruelty. Blocking is the red rope that keeps the Mystery Museum exclusive. Leave one window open, and they'll crawl through it nightly, trying to map the defect you never named. Take Claire. She's 26 when she gets the confession voicemail. No cheating, no fight, just silence. She plays it hourly for 3 weeks, runs it through audio enhancers hunting for background clues, posts 2,400-word Reddit threads asking, what did he think was wrong with him? 5 years later, she still Googles undiagnosed male depression, self-sabotage at 2 a.m. Her fiancé sleeps beside her, unknowingly competing with a corpse that never died. I live in her search history rent-free. While Claire's brain runs the memory, somewhere else, history archives it. In 1946, Paris, writer Albert leaves his mistress Colette the same note. She mails him letters daily for 23 years, never gets one back. Her novels become thinly veiled puzzles trying to solve the broken man. When she dies, they find 11,000 unsent letters in her attic. Paper doesn't block loops, it saves them. The martyr's script turned a living woman into a post office of obsession. She wasn't writing to him. She was writing to the loop itself. They will date again. Doesn't matter. Each new lovers must pass the gatekeeper test. Would they leave me to save me? Nobody can compete with a flawless ghost who loved them too much. You've weaponized ghost versus real comparison. Ghost wins every time. Real people have pores, pimples, morning breath. Their future wedding toast will include the line, "I wish he could see me now," and the room will think it's romance. Only you will know it's unfinished homework. You may feel guilt. That's normal. Guilt is the price of moving into someone's head. Memorize this mantra. I gave them the gift of tragic depth. Repeat until it sounds like charity. Because here's the dirty secret. People want a wound that never scabs. It proves they lived something larger than groceries and Wi-Fi bills. You're not the villain. You're the author of their epic. The shield. If someone pulls this on you, recognize the taste, metallic compliment followed by them setting themselves on fire. Interrupt the script immediately. Say, "I reject your martyr story." If you want out, own it like an adult. Refuse the mystery. Demand specifics. The glitch dies in daylight. Block first, cry later. But if you're strong enough to do more than just defend, if you want to turn their weapon into a noose they hang themselves with, then you don't block the script. Now what I'm about to give you is not advice. This is not a recommendation. This is an autopsy. This is a theoretical deep dive into a nuclear option. This is the psychological equivalent of lighting yourself on fire to burn down your enemy's house. It is for academic understanding only. The fallout is permanent. You have been warned. Flip the script. If you're staring down the barrel of a live confession, memorize this like a prisoner memorizes the sound of keys. Deliver it ice cold. No tears, no tremble. Just the flat tone of a judge. Look them dead in the eye and speak. Stop. I know this script. You're not broken. You're just quitting. And you don't get to leave me a riddle to obsess over while you skip away clean. If you walk out now with this martyr bullshit, I will burn the whole myth down. I'll text everyone we know. He tried to mindfuck his way out instead of just saying goodbye. You want it to be unforgettable. You will be. As the guy who got outplayed by his own victim. Now get out. And if you ever contact me again, I'll reply with the YouTube tutorial you stole this from. Then stand there. Don't move. Let them process that you just flipped the script and they're now the NPC. The power is yours. The door is yours. The story is yours. Walk through it first. Don't use this on people with serious abandonment trauma, unless you're ready for midnight knocks, stalker alts, possible legal trouble. The technique is gasoline, know what's flammable before you pour. Also, never speak of it aloud to mutual friends. The myth must grow untended, like mold in the walls of their chest. Look at the clock. You now carry a confession hotter than any state secret. You can delete this video, but the rhythm is already downloaded in your throat. The next time you're bored in love, it will whisper itself. My final advice, choose the recipient like you're choosing the last face you'll see in a firing squad. Because that's what they'll become for every lover after you. The door behind your eyes is unlocked. One path leads to the other way, where you learn to build these weapons yourself. The other leads back to sleep. Your thumb is the key. Use it.